Have you ever imagined a place where everyone, no matter where they are, has access to nutritious food every day? I feel sad because there are many children out there who have to suffer from malnutrition just because their parents can't access food in their area.
Sometimes, when I'm pensive, I imagine I can realize a mission where, in this world, no one will have to go to bed hungry.
Unfortunately, this is still a dream for millions of people around the world, especially in Africa. Hunger is just not a problem that exists there.
Yeah, it's a harsh reality in society, which affects millions of people every day. I think eliminating hunger is not only feasible, but also urgent and necessary for a better world. You know what? Hunger is a huge problem that affects millions of people, especially in Africa. Hunger is not just about a lack of food, but also about not being able to get nutritious food constantly. According to the United Nations, nearly 690 million people were undernourished in 2019, showing just how big this crisis is around the world. One of the hardest hit regions is sub-Saharan Africa, where poverty, conflict, and environmental challenges make food hard to come by and access. After that, COVID-19 worsened this situation even further. Situations like lockdown, weak economies, and others that affected supply chains have left many more countries even more vulnerable to food insecurity.
Then, what's their fate?
In Ethiopia, for example, where millions of people are already experiencing food shortage, the pandemic has caused food prices to inflate and household incomes to fall, making it harder for families to afford basic food. Likewise, in South Sudan, where ongoing conflicts and population displacement have already made food resources more limited, this pandemic has further worsened an already severe humanitarian crisis.
That's terrible. What will happen to the people, especially children and the elderly?
As food insecurity increases, the health consequences of hunger become more serious. Hunger causes severe health impacts, especially for the most vulnerable, such as children and elderly. Malnutrition, which can be both a cause and a result of hunger, has devastating effects on health and development. It can weaken the immune system, making people more likely to contract infections and disease. For children, malnutrition can stunt growth, impair cognitive development, and lead to poor school performance, which in turn prolongs the cycle of poverty and hunger.
Are there any other countries experiencing the same thing?
Yeah, there are. So, child malnutrition is also the leading cause of death in countries like Kenya and Nigeria. They are still struggling with high cases of malnutrition and chronic malnutrition. For example, there is such a thing as wasting, which is acute malnutrition where children become very thin compared to their height. Then there's also stunting, which is chronic malnutrition characterized by a child's height being lower than their age. Both conditions increase the risk of death. Children with severe acute malnutrition have a 12 times higher rates of death than those with good nutrition. Who do you think plays a role in handling hunger cases like this, and what should they do?
Point of view, governments, non-governmental organizations, and individuals have a role to eliminate hunger. And in order to eliminate hunger, they need to unite. For this reason, they have no option than to work together so as to come up with solutions that are sustainable. Of course, this is another strategy that will ensure that hunger is brought to an end. In a manner of speaking, government shall work hard to formulate and enact policies that will help in agricultural development, and NGOs shall offer assistance, capacity building service, and lobby, and the farmers make local decisions and practices.
Have there been any results?
Yes, I will tell you that through such coordinated efforts like Zero Hunger Challenge by the UN, which have been implemented in the sub-Saharan Africa, great strides have been made to address hunger and malnutrition issues. This effort outlined the long-term goals such as promoting the availability of food for all, eliminating hunger and malnutrition, and making the food system more proper. Likewise, there are programs that have been implemented in countries like Kenya and Ethiopia, which have also been very effective in addressing local hunger problems, because the local are encouraged to find solutions to hunger problems, which makes them more sustainable. Moreover, it can be also stated that supporting local economies is also important, since investing on local businesses and on agriculture that spurs economic development as well as the food security level. We also have to ensure that smallholder farmers can access markets and fair prices for their produce.
So, have any countries manage to do this?
Of course there are. For instance, in Uganda and Nigeria, they support male and female farmers and also markets in those countries to enhance the food security and economic stability. Moreover, microfinance programs and cooperatives have also proven successful in supporting small-scale farmers to increase their investment in superior equipment and practices. For example, in Uganda, microfinance institutions have helped farmers purchase drought-resistant seeds and irrigation equipment. The impact is a significant increase in productivity.
Are there any other strategies to end hunger?
Oh, let me guess. I think is it something about agriculture, right?
Oh, yeah, sustainable agriculture, right? Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. It's sustainable agriculture. So, sustainable agriculture can help end hunger in sub-Saharan Africa by implementing sustainable farming techniques to increase food production and protect the environment.
What are the techniques that farmers can use?
For instance, methods like exchanging of crops, growing trees among crops, and biofarming methods not only enhance the yields of crops, but also improves the fertility of the land and decreases the utilization of dangerous chemicals. In Kenya, agroforestry projects have increased farmers' incomes while restoring degraded lands. And then, sustainable practices can help mitigate climate change impacts, which are significant driver of food insecurity. Such as in Ethiopia, farmers are practicing climate-smart agriculture techniques that enhanced the resilience to flood and drought. Besides that, local food systems reduce dependence on global supply chains, enhancing food security. Communities can reduce the risk of disruption in international trade and increase their resilience in the face of adversity by favoring produce supplied locally.
Yeah, without global supplies, they can improve the economy and reduce hunger.
Which countries have implemented this system?
In Nigeria, local food markets have ensured the availability of foods during shocks, making it possible for people to access food easily. Similarly, in Ghana, they do these local food markets to ensure that food production and consumption is sustained, even during the global crisis. Community Supported Agriculture, or CSA, initiatives have strengthened local food networks, providing fresh food that locally produced to consumers.
What strategies do you believe will be most effective in achieving zero hunger?
As for me, I think it's critical to invest in sustainable agriculture through encouraging the use of better farming practices, investing in small-scale farmers, and enhancing market and physical access.
It's the same for me, and I hope other countries can follow this successful path.
But some argue that technological advancement in large-scale industrial agriculture are the only solution to hunger.
In reality, technological advancements could lead to environmental degradation and overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in intensive farming practices, such as those in the Midwest United States. It has caused significant soil erosion and loss of fertility. Furthermore, the potential of social and economic inequalities, like in Brazil. The expansion of large soybean plantation has displaced smallholder farmers in Brazil and indigenous communities, leading to increased poverty and food insecurity.
So, what can we conclude?
In conclusion, eradicating hunger means people need to learn how it is done, be willing to do it, and act according to the principles put into policies. It is possible to reduce hunger through understanding the importance and impacts of hunger, as well as through practicing sustainable agriculture, building up the local economy, and supporting cooperation at the international level. Together, we represent the generation that can remove the barrier between the have and the have nots. It is about giving time, money, and effort to implement practices that make our local and world community health fulfilling so that the next generations do not suffer but are happy. Opportunity to feed everyone has never been this close. And now it is the time to take that right step to fight hunger.
Let's be a part
Of change today.